Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that can be incredibly profitable. I mean, hey, I'm talking about big money, right? In today's market. That's right, land home packages. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to evaluate these markets, find the right partners, and hey, most importantly, structure these deals to make some serious money. Let's get started. Okay, so listen, first things first, market selection is everything. This is something that I talk with people all the time about. It is so crucial to make sure that you are selecting markets that will work well for these land home packages. So you might be asking, hey, what does market selection look like? Quite frankly, there's a couple of criteria that I look for. These don't have to be hard and fast rules, but I found that they work well for me across lots of different states and areas that I'm looking to do deals in. The first things first, when we're looking at market selection, I want to find properties that comp out for a certain sales price. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say that I'm looking at a 3-bed, 2-bath, brand new manufactured home going on a piece of land. Square footage is definitely important, but I'm looking here for at least a 3-bed, 2-bath. I want it to be a double wide. And I'm going to look for places that have certain prices per square foot and certain overall sales prices. I found that I tend to do really well where I find markets that have a pretty decent sales price on the back end. Most of these markets I'm looking in, I can sell a mobile home double wide for at least $200,000. So as long as I'm finding some place that has a decent sales comp on the back end, the next part of my market selection is looking at the front end purchasing the lot. Every time I'm looking to buy a lot, I'm wanting to make sure that I'm getting something typically under $30,000 or less for my land. Most of the cost, once you get into this business, you'll learn are pretty fixed. What I mean by that is that when you're setting up your house, the septic system is going to be about the same across different areas, maybe small variations, but it's going to be mostly the same. Your setup costs are going to also about be the same as as well as your decks, your other utilities, your HVAC system. Most of these costs are pretty standard. So there's really only a couple of things that factor into your profitability. Yep, exactly right. The market selection. Places where you have good sales comps and you have low lots prices that you can purchase and still make some money at. Okay, so now that we've looked at, some of these areas that I'm talking about, we can see the difference between areas that have low priced sales when they come out and areas that have low priced lots. You found a market that works. Now you're ready to dive in. Typically, when I'm researching, though, there are a couple of good websites that I like to use. Obviously, we're looking on Zillow for things. Zillow is kind of the easy one, right? But if you want to go kind of a little more granular, a little deeper, I would look at probably LandWatch or Land Portal. Both of those are good for kind of just identifying land. You can even try to scrub and pull lists, whatever you want to do, as well as your local MLS. If you're not working with a local agent in your area for these land home packages, I would highly recommend that you reach out and talk with somebody. Of course, if you're looking in the upstate or the South Carolina markets, reach out to me. My team and I can help you here on the resale side for these homes on the residential real estate side. But if you're looking in other markets, other states, let's say you're in Georgia or Texas or Arizona, find an agent that knows how to sell these, that's done a couple deals and heck, maybe even is doing the exact same thing that you're looking to do. They might have some recommendations on contractors or other people to really help you out. So once you've really identified that promising market, the next thing to kind of figure out in this process deals with your plan. So I mentioned that kind of at the beginning, your plan to put a home on the market to make some money is going to revolve around the specific make, model, and floor plan that you're picking out. So if you've, driven down the highway, you may have seen a big Clayton Homes or a Deer Valley or one of these other manufacturers that they have a dealer that is on site, local in your area, and they're out there putting these land home packages together for people for a fee, or just selling the homes outright. So as the investor, you have the ability to walk up to a Clayton dealer and talk through, hey, I want a 3-2, I want it, 14, 15, 16, 1800 square feet. And this is kind of what I'm looking to pay. And they'll tell you either, hey, we've got something sitting on the lot for you, or we can order you something and kind of here's what that price looks like. So once you've, kind of found the different players in the game, so to speak, you can really kind of start to dive in and figure out where exactly you want to be buying your house from. And so that's a really big piece of this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can't buy from one or you should only buy from another. Obviously, I've had some personal success dealing with certain brands. I like Cavco, Truebill's not bad. Clayton obviously is a big front runner with with a lot of homes that they tend to put out. But to be quite frank with you, each factory that these manufacturers make homes in is all a little bit different. Each factory location is going to be a little more unique in the way that they may do some of the trim out, that they may do some of the delivery, that they may package and transport it a little different than the next. And all of those things are going to factor into what it looks like for you to ultimately pick out the right home for your next project. So like I said earlier, I really like to make sure that I'm getting at least a 3-bed, 2-bath. A lot of these manufacturers, when you actually go to purchase your house, you have the ability to upgrade to a larger bedroom. Let's say you have a 1,700 square foot model. That's a 3-2. For an extra couple $100, maybe $1,000, you can add in a fourth bedroom and make it a 4-2. Those 4-2s tend to sell better. And there are lots of upgrades that you can get. It's kind of like buying a car. You can go kind of the basic model, or you can get the upgraded, off road, whatever kind of upgrades you might want in your car. Same thing in housing, right? So you can choose, hey, I want to go sheetrock instead of VOG walls. I want to do, upgraded appliances. I want to do, all these upgrades that those dealers will have for you, right? And so all of those are great options that can factor into getting your home sold quickly on the market, as opposed to maybe sitting for a little bit longer. So all different things you've got to factor into your decision on whether you want to move forward and be able to really pull the trigger on a right house. So kind of wrapping up here, as we're talking through the different ways to put together your plan, I like to really kind of use some back of the napkin math just to kind of make sure that I'm penciling everything out correctly. So let's say, going back to what I mentioned earlier about the lot, let's say that I'm buying a lot for $30,000. Well, as long as I'm 30,000 or under, I know that I'm kind of locked in on that price. Let's say that my house is, $90,000. Maybe able to get a house cheaper. Maybe yours is a little bit more expensive, but let's just say for sake of numbers, bear with me. But let's say you buy a house for 90, you're into the land for 30, so you're in for 120. And let's say that it cost another, $40,000 to set up your house. Every lot's going to be a little different. You might buy a lot that already has utilities there. You might have to add everything. So all of those costs need to factor in. But let's say you bought the lot for 30, you bought the house for 90, you set it up for 40, you're all in for 160. And if you can sell it for 200 or greater, you're locking in, after realtor fees, some closing costs, you're probably locking up right about a $30,000 check just on one deal. And that's really kind of the beauty of it, right? If you can be able to game plan out, hey, if everything goes good, I'm going to make 30 grand. If I do a really great job, I can make 40 or 50. And if I do a bad job, I might make 15 or 20. It's a lot better than flipping houses, in my opinion, because you can surely go underwater real quick on some of those projects. But to me, the beauty of this strategy really is scalability. Once you've done one, you have a proven model and you've established a relationship with the factory and with your local contractors. Very important there. You can then repeat the process over and over and over. It's all about finding the right market, partnering with the right manufacturer, finding the right contractors, really trying to lock in those costs, and making sure that you have consistency. And that will help you hit certain profit margins and allow you to build credibility and scalability in your market to where you can go from doing one or two of these deals a year to upwards of 30, 40, 50, or even 100. Kind of sounds crazy, but once you've done one, you'll see just how easy these things are to really get started with. So thanks so much for watching today. I hope this kind of gives you a better and more clear roadmap on how to get started with these land home packages. I'll be doing another video diving deeper into these throughout our series, so make sure to check that out. If you got value from this video, make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well for more content like this, and drop any questions that you have in the comments below. See you in the next one.